Be careful.
He's and Scott Higgins, both of them coked up out of their minds.
Listen to you. He's down in the basement. Yeah. Oh, I love that.
I think we should call this the Acement.
The Acement, yes.
Yeah, what do you think there, huh?
I like that. The Acement Studios.
Excuse me, I'm drinking beer. Hold on a second.
We usually drink bourbon on our end.
Yeah,
when we
right.
do the podcast, so
That's all right.
feel free to enjoy yourself.
Yeah, exactly. You shoot an 8-ball if you want. We don't care, as long as it's good stories.
Welcome to the Acement, everybody. It's time to go behind the funny. This is Scott Higgins.
And this is Ace Aceto.
And welcome to Best of 2021 Part 3.
God, we had a great 2021.
I know, it's so hard to narrow it down to we could never do a top 10 or something like that because
oh my God,
we had
it's impossible.
We listened to every episode and we're like, oh my God, this clip is great and this clip is great and oh my God, remember when that guy was on? Remember when this person said it?
Yeah.
There's just so many great things that we don't want to leave out, and it's been so much fun kind of recapping the year this year.
Absolutely.
You know, we've had some amazing guests and amazing moments, but one thing we certainly picked up on this year.
Oh, did we?
Yes, we did. We had a lot of fun with our new drinking game. For our regulars that join us, by the way, if you haven't tuned in on Wednesday nights, we do the show live.
Yep.
On a channel on Twitch.tv.
Yep.
Drinks, Jokes, and Storytelling. The letter N. Drinks, Jokes, letter N, Storytelling.
Yep.
You can
8:30 p.m.
8:30 p.m. we go live, and you can also follow us on Behind the Funnies Facebook page. We post when we're going to go live on there,
Yep.
so you can follow us. But when you're following along, there's a little idiosyncrasy or habit,
or
if you will,
tick.
or I don't know if you want to call it a tick, but just a bit of a habit that my co-host has when we're talking to people, that he says that whenever he brings it up, we have now said you have to take a drink. And
I like to validate our guests and what they say.
It's a very respectful thing to say.
When they make a good point, I say,
to your point. And he says it a lot.
Oh my God. Going back and listening, I didn't realize just how much I said it, but man, I say it a lot.
Yeah, you say it several times per episode.
Yeah, so
per episode. And we're going to start off tonight's episode with a collection of Ace's to your points. And some of the funniest ones, though, are Ace catching himself.
Changing the words.
Changing the words so he doesn't say it that way exactly.
I know.
Those are some of my favorite moments, is you hearing you catch yourself as you're about to say it.
I know. Those are funny. But you know what? It's not just about me.
No, this first part is. But
one of the things that I found in going through past episodes
that's not what we're doing right now.
Scott has his own little idiosyncrasies.
That's not what we're doing right now.
We're not doing it right now, but we are going to revisit it. We wanted to say that at the beginning of the
we're
next
okay.
one. That's all right. We can cut that. We'll cut that. So
anyway, we're gonna put this first for tonight's episode. Enjoy Ace, as he says, validating our guests when they make a point with his to your point.
Right.
And then 16 days later, the review is "Avert Your Eyes" from the New York Times.
Really?
So, yeah. It doesn't get better than that. You know?
But to your point, it afforded you that opportunity to still stay in New York with your family. They were handing out development deals. So to your point earlier about, my gig, but to your one of the things that you said is the nose picker said, and I love Robin just pointed me out, almost said to your point, but you caught yourself. So I say to your point all the time to people, and then we have a drinking game where I have to take a drink if we say to your point. Yeah. And I just said it, so let's drink. But to your point, And it was, it's because, to your point, when we drink. Yeah. So to your point, I know I got a drink. Sorry. I say to your point to our guests a lot. So we have a drinking game. Whenever I say to your point, we have to drink. So drink. But it was to your, like, we're cheering because if you notice underneath, our friend Robin put up the comment to your point.
It's kind of our drinking game because Ace says that a lot.
I say to your point a lot, so it's a drinking game.
It's become a drinking game with our viewers that every time Ace says to your point, they have to take a drink.
We have to take a drink. So those were my idiosyncrasies.
I love those.
That they were funny, and
what I love too, before we continue, is how much our super fans, as we call them, the people that tune in every week when we go live, how they've embraced them, and they will even point out.
Oh,
in
they
the
call
chat,
me out all the time on the
and
chat.
they will call out when they catch you doing them. Because I'll miss them because we're in the middle of a conversation and we're in the heart of it, and all of a sudden, Robin or Jen will say, "Ace just said to your point."
Yeah, we have to drink, but that's all right because this year in 2022, I picked up on something that Scott didn't realize he did until he went back and listened and said, "Oh man, I do it
out. I can't not hear it."
So I like to call Scotty 2 times because
so bad.
He says something twice all the time, like
a lot.
We don't need a lot. We don't need a lot.
It's like I say it and then I need to accent it.
Like you said earlier tonight when we were talking before we started recording, you say 100%.
100% so much. That's the one that irritated the shit out of me listening back at all these episodes is someone will say something and I agree with them and I can't just go, yeah, I agree with that. I got to go 100%. 100%.
Listen, I don't mean to aggravate you. I just wanted to point out that you have your own idiosyncrasies.
That was deflecting off of, to your point, Ace.
Listen.
What you're saying is.
Listen, 100%. 100%. So
you know
what I want to ask the audience is before we introduce the next section is as we go through the year
2022,
please, by all means, if Scotty 2 times pops up on an episode, please point it out in the chat so we can timestamp it and go back and we'll have our own little yearly recap of those.
So you have 2 drinking games this year.
Yes. Our audience is going to be shit-faced.
You have the TYP, the To Your Point.
Yes.
And you have Scotty 2 times.
Scotty 2 times.
So, yes, feel free to call us out, and we will drink along with you when either one of those happen going further.
100%. 100%.
Well, to your point, Ace.
Yes.
It's 100%.
We're still recapping 2021, and what we have coming up are some amazing stories.
Unbelievable stories that we've had this year. And you know what I like is, this started off as kind of a comedian's podcast.
Yeah.
And then we had radio people. Mm-hmm. Then we had, some people that have gotten into acting and stuff like that. And then like this year you had like Nick Pasyanos, who you did the movie Boxman with, and he came out with a book.
Great
and
stories.
We had Martin Olsen, who's another writer type of guy. Brian Kiley, who's a comedian, but yet he's known for his writing.
Right.
So we're getting these different people from different fields, but they still have, funny.
It's comedy. It's still comedy.
They're still involved in comedy, but from different aspects of it and everything. So, and that's what I've really enjoyed is getting to know some of these people, and they've contributed their own great stories.
You're going to love these stories, and we couldn't think of any way to end this section.
Oh, yeah.
Then where else are you going to hear a story that involves Rodney Dangerfield and Metallica?
Oh, yeah.
That was just an amazing story from Martin Olsen.
All in one story, and Metallica hooking Rodney up.
Yes.
Via our friend Martin Olsen.
Yes. So enjoy these funny stories.
This is Scott Higgins.
And I am Ace Aceto. Still with no voice 2 fucking weeks later.
Still 2 weeks later. Sound like Peter Brady when it's time to change.
I finally hit puberty. Let's talk a little bit about what's been going on with that since, obviously COVID put a damper on everything, But have you guys started putting on more shows?
Oh yeah, we've been very busy
because we don't know. We don't get called for those. So
I wouldn't know. I've done no, that's not true because I've done exactly none.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
Oh, salty party of 2. Your table's ready. God, my ankle's gonna explode with that much salt.
That's
over
the diabetes, buddy.
No. You know where the diabetes come from? Driving through your friggin' neighborhood. Honeysuckle Drive, Ginger Trail, Jasmine Lane.
Thanks for giving away my address.
I was gonna say
some psycho is gonna show up at my fucking door tonight.
But you know what? Really, like, look at Gacy. All right, so Gacy killed, I think, 16. He's convicted of 16 men,
right?
Young
Suspected
men.
of more than that.
Suspected of way more. Right.
But and so one of the lures he used to do was magic. In order to get these kids to he would literally one of the things he actually did was he used the Chinese finger trap in order to try and help keep them from moving around too much and whatnot. But I'm like, come on, think about that though. Why would you use that kind of magic? You know what I mean? You need real, not clown magic. You need an actual hacksaw. Magic. That's how you should be killing. That's what Gacy did wrong. He should have been using actual hacksaw magic instead of this shitty clown magic.
Yeah, I'm going to saw you in half. Lay on this table. Lay in this box.
Exactly. You can be my special assistant. Yeah.
Okay. He was pretty successful.
Yeah.
He wasn't though.
Till he got caught.
Exactly. I mean,
the only person he sawed in half was Sophie Tucker, and that's
He's been trying to work the
full circle right there.
He's been waiting.
He's been trying to work a Sophie Tucker joke all night.
He's like a little kid with a shuttlecock. He's waiting for his moment.
Thank you. Good night.
Say good night, Gracie.
Yeah, say good night, Gracie.
Even look at mass murderers. He looks somebody like Jim Jones, from the Jonestown massacre. He did this because he was convinced that he was doing good.
Yes,
right.
He thought he was saving all of them.
He thought he was saving them.
Yes.
And to be fair, Kool-Aid's a lot cheaper than Tang.
It's true. It's very true. Absolutely. But we cover a woman, Catherine Knight from Australia. Mm-hmm. I told you about her. We covered her, and basically what she did, she was so angry at her husband, she killed him. She was a butcher, so she skinned him, then cut his head off, boiled his head, set plates out for his adult children, cut pieces of his buttocks off, fried them, made roasted potatoes and other vegetables, put them all on the plate, and then the cops showed up.
Wow.
Because she tried to kill herself and didn't take enough pills.
Oh,
and so they showed up and she was
after the meal?
After the meal. She didn't eat them.
So they had already eaten
No. The kids never showed up. She just set plates out for the kids. But because she hated them so much and she hated him that much. But that's fucking my whole problem.
She pulled a fucking Arya Stark.
Yeah. But see, my whole problem with it, why roast fucking potatoes?
Right.
That's way too much work.
Well, you got to have a starch with your protein.
But you could have done instant stovetop stuffing.
But see, here's the thing. She was already...
But does stovetop really go with ass meat?
But she was already making a soup.
Right, Brian? Back me up on this. Potatoes are a much better side dish with that.
Yeah, you need your
rump roast.
Thank you.
Does it go with rump roast?
She was already making a soup out of his head, and I'm sure the kids were like, well, I don't want fucking soup anymore.
Yeah,
so she made... Kids make you make a second fucking meal. I'm already cooking something. Why would you make a second meal? That's where she screwed up.
That's because kids are entitled nowadays.
It is. That's exactly
when we grew up, you got served what was made.
Not eating this soup. Fine, you're getting rump roast.
Exactly. You don't want these potatoes, just eat your father.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Or he's going to be waiting for you for breakfast.
Flannel Polyester was because we wanted to do shows with people we like.
Right.
Because
that's why we haven't been on yet.
That's exactly why.
Listen, you're digging yourself a hole.
I know, right? Seriously.
I just saw that.
Bing. Light bulb just went off.
Fucking light bulb right there.
Oh, there it is. That's why we have a light bulb in the basement.
There's a long list of people that hate me for not booking them some more.
And I blame him all the time.
And we just moved to the top of the list.
Yes.
Jay Burns does the booking. So everybody still likes me.
Yeah, exactly.
A couple of exceptions out there, and you guys already know.
Yeah.
But I'm 3 scotches down, so fuck it.
Oh my God.
Don't die now.
Maniac.
Find my nitro pills,
Don't
please.
Don't die now. You're parked behind me.
Oh my God. Our friend Robin just said, I'm going to go watch the Jack Parr show now. See you next time.
Robin, bravo.
Very good.
Robin. But here, this is funny. When I found out I won that Comedy Central contest, which was truly life-saving. Life-saving. It was life-changing. It definitely was life-changing at the time. I was bartending. I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. I had a feeling this might be the result.
Mm-hmm.
And I took a bathroom break, went upstairs, and it was Ann Harris, who was the booker of Comedy Central. I don't know if she still is, but she was at the time. And telling me that I won the contest. And so then I had to go down and finish my bar shift knowing that I was like,
wow.
It was pretty cool. So big ups to Ann Harris.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome, though.
You might have been able to walk out on that job, but you said, no, I'm finishing my shift.
No,
I want to keep stealing.
No, yeah, exactly.
Skimming off the till.
Until you got that one asshole customer, you're like, fuck this, I don't need this. And you ball up your apron and throw it.
Knowing how much I was stealing as a bartender, I probably was like, oh, I don't even care if I get fired now. I'm going to go down there and not ring up anything.
Yeah, right. Because in the 5 years we've been doing this podcast, we can count on one hand how many comics are firstborn.
None.
We're always the middle child or the baby because we were screaming for attention. Now, what does your older sibling do?
Yeah, I mean, it's like the classic thing. He's like a partner in a law firm.
Yeah, it's exactly.
It follows the mold.
And you know
every
what?
time.
I see why now, because he's got kids, and his firstborn kid, who was like 2 now, I'm like, his parents just like are like, you know, they just spoil him. They're so obsessed with him. And the second one has just come along. She's 6 months. And like, I can already see the parents are like divided between the 2 kids. They're exhausted. So like already, I mean, like that's just exactly what it is. My wife is a doctor, and she said in medical school, they asked them to raise their hands if they were the firstborn, and 99% of them were the first.
I believe it. Totally. Isn't that crazy?
Kind of fucked up to think that your fate in a certain sense is decided
on when you were born in your family. I know. I know. I feel like I'm failing my other 2 kids.
On the order of your birth determines your success.
I know. We think there's so much to like free will, but really we're just fucking robots.
Listen, honestly, even when we were on the telethon and we started all doing our dueling Gilbert Gottfrieds, I love the fact that I was able to make some of you guys laugh. Like even Voss, even Rich Voss, as much as he was shitting on us for being obscure, you know, and no names, he laughed when I started doing that, and when I started doing the Ray Romano stuff.
It's a big deal for you guys.
It is. It really is.
It makes you feel like you're significant when, you know, let's face it. It's just it could be anything further than the truth. And by the way, at this point in the appearance, I just want to say, you know, fuck Scott Higgins. Okay, fuck him for going on vacation.
Yeah.
You know, oh, it's such a big deal, Rob. Oh, it's such a great. He's just a jet.
Rob,
and then, you know, he's got to go on vacation. No.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny?
He's dead to me.
Right before this happened, I actually had to change our banner underneath where it says Ace Aceto Tom Stewart. It used to say Ace Aceto fuck Scott Higgins.
Oh, that's so
I just changed it today because I figured Tom might feel bad about that. But I'll go back and change it. I can edit it at any time, so it's not a problem.
And Tom, as a former radio personality, let me just say this. You also have a face for radio.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, exactly.
I've been told that many times, actually.
Yes, he knows that. Yeah. I was just amazed that, like, holy shit, I got paid $50 to go to this dive bar and open up for these guys that I look up to.
That's more than my father made for a week worth of work when he first started working.
Right? Yeah. And this was a hobby, you know, it was something that I just enjoyed doing. So, and that's what I think binds us all together is there's so many of us that.
Let me stop you there again. Nothing is binding.
I know. All right.
We could not be more separate. You know what I'm saying? It's like
thanks for putting me in my place.
You and Mother Teresa. Okay, it's like these are 2 things. One of these things is not like the other. Okay, so let me just get this.
What I meant was we all love just doing it, whether we get paid big bucks like you or shit money like me. It was all downhill from there. I think he's talking about, or he or she is talking about our. When you were talking about Long Island and getting on at Richard M. Nixon's, Mike Souls says, hey guys, Polly Chaser evidently knows Mike. They're saying hi back and forth. No mods. We can have fun here. Oh, no moderators, in other words. Yeah, because Tom Bannis, who's usually the moderator, isn't on tonight.
And by the way, Ace, this is all really engaging.
I know. I'm sorry, but here's where it gets bad. Hi, Ace, Tom. Did Scott quit? No, they didn't quit. I'm not religious, thank God.
No one just cares.
Went Jesus. Oh my God.
No one cares.
Here's what they said.
Nobody cares what they have to say.
Polly Chaser said, please acknowledge that you at least read this Twitch.
You have we've already established that. You have a guest, interview your guest.
All right, I'm sorry. Now I feel stuck in the middle. I feel like I'm stuck in the middle. No. I'm sorry. All right. So let's talk about this.
You're not stuck in the middle. You're not stuck in the middle. You're at a crossroads. Okay.
All right.
And let's just like real world, Ace. This is not working out for you. Okay. The comedy thing, you give it a shot.
I tried. I tried. 32 years.
It's time to move on.
I know it's time to move on. Thank God I have a day job. We're just geniuses, the two of us.
I wouldn't put myself in the same
I'm trying, Rob. I'm trying.
I like you, Ace. You're a great guy. You're a funny guy. But we're in the same nothing. Okay, Ace? We are not even. We're not.
All of a sudden, Rich Voss is taking over his body, and he's. Where are you from? Obscurity.
Hence the hat.
Yeah.
I bet you wish
need
Scott
the big
was here
fly
now.
Glasses. I know.
No, but
right.
The only thing we have in common right now is that we are talking to each other on the internet. Okay, that's the only thing we have. There's not even like comedian to comedian. There's no connection.
No, I know. You said comedian to comedian earlier, and I'm holding you to it. So, no, I appreciate that.
So we did. So the screen test was not the screen test where I did it at a like a hotel. It was at a banquet center.
No,
it was in the median strip on Chalkstone Ave.
It was Blackstone Boulevard. In front of a bush. Seriously? Yeah. He literally pulled out a video camera, and said, "Okay, read these lines."
And I said, "You got the job, you want it." And then he just says, "Well, I got to go. I'm going to start selling drugs."
You need an IMDb profile. What a perfect segue into this.
Here we go.
So hold on, Jen. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to actually show you.
Jen, you had to bring that up.
You had to bring it up. Yep.
I'm going to show you. This is the one IMDb review we have of Boxed Man. Let me read it to the audience. Too bad. That's the title of the fucking review. Too bad this movie never took off. It's an independent film that was shown locally at a film festival and met with high approval scores, but it never got picked up. There were plenty of laughs. Probably could have used more polishing, but still enjoyable. This is the thing that kills me. Local comedian Ace Aceto in the lead role had a big following in the Rhode Island area. The producers picked him up when he was hot and recognizable. We were hoping his career would take off after this film. Several other local people were used in the movie too. Too bad it didn't make it. That's the fucking one review we got on all of IMDb.
We like them, but too bad it did nothing for them.
Too bad Ace Aceto is a has-been. There was a scene where I have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, Jesus.
And I asked the secretary at the office, can I go to the bathroom? And she goes, no, bathrooms are only for employees. And I'm like, can I get an application? And then there's a scene where I'm in a freight elevator.
Going down.
And we're going down. And literally, it looks like I'm alone in this freight elevator. Yeah. But there's probably 7 of us in there, between Guy, the cameraman, Nick, a couple of the sound people. So there's like 7 of us in there, but it looks like I'm alone. And all of a sudden, the joke is, the freight elevator starts going down. I have to pee. All of a sudden, it stops. And I'm screaming, no, please let me out. And the whole elevator is actually shaking because Nick is fucking laughing his ass off during the scene. You don't hear him, but you could see the camera like shaking from it because his leg is going. When Nick gets excited, his leg would start like going up and down, and I'm surprised that you couldn't see that in the scene. And you almost see me crack up because I'm out of the corner of my eye. I see him laughing his ass off, and I almost lose it.
The memory
because you were there.
Right, I was there, so I felt the whole elevator shaking.
I don't think if you're watching it, you'd pick up on that at all. No, I'm being serious.
My memory of it was that it was so hysterically funny that I kept ruining the take because I was laughing.
Right.
So that was one of only 2 scenes in the whole movie that I directed by not actually watching.
Yeah,
I turned around.
Right. He had to turn around.
I had to turn. I could not watch him. I turned around. I was 180 degrees out from him. And I'm just listening to him. Oh, he's like jumping up and down. And that's when I called cut. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
It was just so funny.
The most uncomfortable scene to shoot, it was after production.
Yep.
You were like, you know what?
Terry's house?
Yes.
Yeah.
You were like, you know what? I feel like we need a kissing scene between you two. Meanwhile, this woman was pregnant the whole time we were fucking filming.
Oh.
And I'm
now
like,
she had her baby.
Now she had her baby, and he goes, I need a kissing scene. I'm in the kitchen, and the scene is I'm cooking dinner for her, and I'm making like Italian gravy for her. And at one point, we're talking, and I have to kiss her. She has a baby and her husband in the other room, and I have to fucking kiss her.
He's smooching.
I'm supposed to make out with her. It was the most uncomfortable. Literally, as soon as the scene was done, I ran to the other room and went to her husband. I'm like, Dave, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I feel horrible. I feel horrible.
It's a movie.
And he's like, no, it's all right. It's all right. I know, but it was just weird.
Yeah.
I found out that both Rodney Dangerfield and Joan Rivers accepted outside writing. You mailed them
jokes, right?
10 jokes a page,
and they'd pick them out and pay you whatever,
$50 a joke.
$50 a joke, right?
So Joan Rivers I never heard back from because honestly, my jokes suck so bad. And so I didn't know how to do it.
Rodney was like, "Fuck it, I'll try it."
So Rodney. Because let's say, I think I sent him about 6 batches of jokes, and it's like 3 pages of 10 jokes a page. And, so what he did every single time, he would scrawl on the bottom of the page, "Sorry, Marty." And then he'd send it back to me, right?
Just to let you know he didn't use it. Most people would just let him go. He's like, "Sorry, Marty."
You guys get this. So 20 years later, I get the job producing Penn and Teller's show in Vegas, and he's a guest.
Yep.
So he comes in with his wife, and I didn't know what to make of him. I knew that he was the world's greatest guy because everybody had told me that. All the comics who worked at his club and so on, they said he's the greatest guy.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, not intimidating, not any kind of fucking power tripping. He's just a wonderful, funny person.
Right.
And so he had an eye problem, and he had a big fucking eye patch. I said, "Hi, Rodney, I'm Martin." And then I said, "Hey, listen, when I was 18, I used to send you jokes, Marty Olsen." And then he thought for a minute, and then I saw a recognition in his face, and he said, "Oh, sorry, Marty." He remembered
That's awesome.
that I wrote the shittiest jokes ever.
Oh my God.
He was always nice. He always answered me back.
And he remembered it. Oh my God, that's awesome.
So he asked, and this is actually a story that has, he said, "Marty, my eye is all fucked up. Can you get me some pot?" I said, "Rodney, I can't get you pot." The producer of the show, I mean, you're putting me in a weird position. Am I being a jerk? He said, "Do what you can. You can see I have a physical condition."
Yes. It's a medical condition.
So I ask around. Nope, I don't. I'm not a drug guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
I love.
You're like, where do I even start? Who do I ask? You know. Yeah.
Plus, I'm doing this job. The hardest job in the world is being a producer for a live show.
Right.
You have to track all this stuff. And I'm not particularly good at that. You know what I mean? I'm good at writing, but for producing and remembering shit, you can tell my memory is a little bit shot and overloaded sometimes. So I sort of just resignedly realize I can't make him happy and get him pot. I asked the crew guy who I was friends with, and they said, yeah, there's one guy, and I have to go over it. And I'm in the middle of production. I have to go to buy pot.
Go out stage door 7. Go behind the dumpster. There's a guy out there. I'll take care of you.
But I said, well, just give me a number, and no one could give me a number. Yeah, you'd have to look it up. I don't know, blah, blah, blah. So at any rate, so then I'm in the midst of that. Right when that happened, I get a phone call, and it's from John Schneider, one of my favorite people. He's a producer, and he's Rob Schneider's brother. Mm-hmm. And he and I had done a couple shows together. Excuse me. And he said, hey, Martin, Metallica is in the next room, and they're reading your book. I said, what do you mean? How do you have my book?
Oh, my God.
He said, because our production company got sent it by Warner Brothers.
Yep.
We have it's the whole actual manuscript.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Metallica are smoking pot in the next room and drinking whiskey. And Lars has his shirt off. He's lying on the floor, and they're howling, laughing, reading your book.
And you're like, wait a minute. Did you say they're smoking pot? I'm looking for pot.
Well, let's put a hold on that aspect of the story now. But you're very
all right, sorry.
Very astute in your storytelling. So get this. I said, "Hey, John," because he didn't know where I was. I'm in Vegas. I'm producing Penn and Teller's show at the Hilton, and it's a live show. He said, "Oh, okay, you're totally crazed." He said, "Wait a minute, you're in Vegas? I'll call you back." Okay, so then he hangs up, and I'm so busy. That was a weird call.
Yeah.
And so, it gave me a little energy and confidence for sure. So because the Metallica's laughing at my book,
right?
Enough for him to call me. So the next day or the day after, it was showtime when we had to tape at like 6 o'clock or something, and so. John Schneider calls me about an hour before we have to do the show.
Yep.
He says, dude, they're there waiting for you. I said, what? What are you talking about? Metallica is at the Hilton waiting for you at a bar that they've
rented,
sequestered off.
Yeah.
They want to meet you. I said,
my God.
So I said, where are they? And so I wrote it down quickly. I'm totally nervous, right? Because what you don't know is I don't even know who Metallica is. I'm an idiot. I'm literally a moron. I'd never go to concerts or anything. I'd like buy medieval music. I'm a total fucking.
You're like, hey, which one of you guys plays the lute?
Who's the triangle player?
So John gives me directions to where to go in the Hilton to find this sequestered off bar that they asked them to close until they met me.
Oh my God.
So I write down the directions, and I'm thinking, who? Metallica. So I call my wife. She says, go downstairs, because this is before cell phones.
Yeah.
She says, go down, and like a year before cell phones, go down to the computer and look up Metallica so you can look up their faces and just read about them. And she said, whatever you do, don't mention about your stupid idea that all music and shit should be free.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Because I'm a fan of
this was in the throes of the
Napster, especially the Lars. Especially the Lars.
Yeah,
exactly.
Oh my God.
Because I'm a big fan of Charles Ives, and he said, no, all copyrights for music, fuck that, it should all be free. So,
dude, that's totally not fair.
That's not right.
That's not right, Martin.
So at any rate, my wife was funny about that, and I rushed downstairs to the banks of computers that the production had there underneath the theater. Yeah. And I looked up their faces and what they did. Who were they?
Yeah.
Because I'm an idiot.
This guy plays guitar. This guy plays bass. Yeah, right.
Who's. And so then luckily I didn't misplace the directions. I scribbled down.
Yeah.
And I run like a fucking little kid crazily through the maze of the gigantic Hilton casino hotel. And then and I'm telling you, it's a long way. It seems like you're running for a mile because I have to get back. I don't have any time.
Yeah.
But I can't not see Metallica who are waiting for me. Right. So I finally go, there's a curtained off bar and there's this big giant, like a biker type guy there. And I said, hey, I'm Martin Olsen. Is this the right place? He says, yeah, they're waiting for you.
Oh my God.
So he pulls the black curtain back and I walk into the empty bar and there's Lars and Kirk. And they have set up on the bar 3 rows of 6 shots each. So
God.
I say, hey, I'm Martin, sister, and they both, Lars hugged me. He said, that's the funniest book I've ever read. We just want to have a shot with you and talk about that a little bit.
Oh my God.
Kirk shook hands and he had the most gigantic hands. It was like Bill Cosby hands. So they asked me about the book and I was nervous because I was being a fraud. I didn't know their music or anything.
Right. Yeah. You're like,
and I'm just a dummy. I just don't know that.
I know you guys are big, but I don't know why.
I can't say that.
Yeah, right.
A fucking thing. It wouldn't be understandable because if I was them, I would hate me instantly if I didn't know who they were.
Yeah,
the biggest band in the world. So they're asking me about the book and we're howling, laughing. I mean, they were so funny and so gracious and so,
they were genuine. They were genuine fans of the book, right?
Oh my God! It was like a weird heavenly dream. Yeah. So we're talking. So and while we're talking, we had to do the 3 shots together, all 6 shots.
Oh my God!
So and I'm thinking, I got to get back and I have to produce the show. We were on in an hour.
Oh my God!
And I have to drink 6 shots.
Oh my God!
So I fucking did it. And so and I said, listen, can I get a quote from you guys for the book? I mean, of course you can. So Lars gave me a quote for the book cover.
Yeah.
Which is which made it to the cover.
To the cover.
And then we say our goodbyes because it was a laugh fest. The whole thing was, they were super funny.
Hilarious. Yeah.
Super fucking funny.
They're just down to earth guys.
Oh my God. Most gracious guys. I mean, regardless of all band conflicts and shit like that. Cause I saw that movie with the psychiatrist and all that.
Oh yeah.
But the nicest guys ever. I mean, to do that, to seek out a writer.
Right.
I mean,
that they just enjoyed just to bring them in. Wow.
And so I was shit-faced after the 6 shots, and then they both hugged me and shook hands. And when Kirk shook hands with me last, and when he shook hands with me, I told you, gigantic hands.
Really?
He asked something to me, and it was like a giant fucking spliff. I mean, giant, like
oh my God,
like a joke-sized spliff.
Right. It was like from the one from History of the World Part 1.
Oh,
Roman Empire.
With the head on the back of the wagon.
Mighty joint.
Rolling papyrus.
So I'm drunk. I'm holding this. So I rush out and I couldn't even find my way back because it's like a maze.
Right.
And I get up there and I go into the back where I have to talk to each of the guests. And then I see Rodney, and then it struck me. And I walked up, I said, Rodney, compliments of Metallica. And I gave this giant fucking joint. And his eyes lit up. Oh, he had the patch off. His eyes lit up and he hugged me and he says, Marty, you're the greatest.
We hope you enjoyed that. We hope you enjoyed all of the episodes looking back at 2021. It was a lot of fun for us to listen back and God, there was so many great clips from this year.
We had some amazing episodes this year. Thanks to Vin Giacvoni. I mean, obviously he's a behind the scenes guy for the podcast in general, but he helped introduce us to like Mo Mandel this year.
Oh,
so
yeah, that was a great one too.
You know, he's contributed in other ways as well, but we've got to make some new friends, on the podcast this year with some new guests. we had some old friends back on and had a lot of fun with them. It was just a great year all the way around. I mean, overall, it's been an amazing 5 years, but overall, I think that by far our best.
Yeah.
Overall year.
But I think that's what's happening is every year we're growing. Every year we're getting better as hosts, and every year we're getting bigger and bigger guests, and we're really excited about that. In fact, coming up we have Art Bell, who was the co-founder of Comedy Central.
Yeah.
When it was called the Comedy Channel. So it's going to be really interesting to talk to him about that. We've got Jimmy Dunn, who you've heard on the podcast. We're working on some really good guests over the next few months. So we hope you'll continue to tune in.
Keep the train rolling in 2022.
And the biggest thing we can ask you is please tell a friend about us. If you know people that are into podcasts, tell them about our podcast and also 5-star written reviews. We're really, really trying to grow this. We're growing it organically. So listen, we're not famous. It's not like we're the people from The Office starting their podcast where they can get 1 million downloads, a month. We're just trying to grow this, slow but sure.
Yeah, we're fans of comedy, and we're trying to use our experience in comedy and the fact that we love comedy to bring you guys some interesting episodes every week, and hopefully you find them entertaining and interesting. And if you do, like Ace said, recommend us, give us that 5-star review, and keep tuning in. So we got some great things coming up. So other than that,
we'll talk to you
next week.